to the last video of my video series. If you haven't watched any of my videos yet and you're new here, I'm Diana from Moondrop Photography and Film, and please go have a look at the previous videos so that you can get all the information that you need on both Enchanted. So let's get right down to it. How to book. There are many ways how you can book through me. I have linked my website down below. I have linked my email address down below. You can reach out to me in either way. And most birth photographers have an email address where you can reach out to them. Once you've reached out to me, the whole process starts for a consultation session where we discuss all of this and more, any questions you might have, any concerns you might have. Like, for example, what happens if your birth doesn't go as planned? What happens if things change? What happens if complications arise? Because these are questions that you need to ask to be sure and comfortable that you are choosing the correct birth photographer for you. There are three major questions that I always say that you need to ask your birth photographer. Firstly, are you registered? Yes, we do need to be registered to be allowed inside a hospital or even a birthing center. If your photographer is not registered, they're definitely not going to be allowed inside a hospital to photograph your birth. And it's going to be a sad moment if on the day they can't get in. So this is very important. Ask your photographer or any potential birth photographers that you are thinking about booking whether they are registered and with which association. Even better if they can provide you with a certificate or their code. Secondly, you need to ask your birth photographer what they understand about the birthing process, where they need to be when what is happening, where they're not allowed to be, whether they're able and willing to work in a sterilized environment, which most births are. They need to be comfortable with this, and depending on their answers, you will be able to immediately ascertain whether or not they are capable enough to act professionally around hospital staff and not cause any disruptions or problems. And the third question is, what is the backup plan if the birth doesn't go as planned? Yes, you guessed it. This is incredibly important because if you've gone through the entire process of booking the photographer, made the payment, arranging everything, and the birth doesn't go as planned, you don't want your photographer standing there on the day asking you, so do you want me to photograph this, or do you want me to leave the room? Do you want me to stay here? These are all things that you should be discussing before. So making sure that you've discussed this will take the ease off on the day, because if something does happen, your photographer already is aware and has already made sure that they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing at that time. They don't need to ask you any questions, they don't need to ask your partner any questions, and if you chose for your photographer to leave the room when something happens, you will immediately have them leave the room, because you won't need to ask them, you won't need to tell them, and they won't need to ask you. If you have watched my entire series and you've decided that you have already made up your mind and you would like to reach out to me to book me as your birth photographer, feel free to click on either of the links below, my email address or my website, and reach out to me and we can start capturing your journey together. So this concludes the end of the series. Thank you so much for following along. It was really, really great to share all this information with you. And if you like this type of content, subscribe and follow along for more of this.